Hi everyone! It's me, Jess! Jet lag, it's a real thing. It's not just something that people talk about. In fact, I don't think we talk enough about jet lag. Excuse the noise from the street. The noise from the street. Oh boy. Oh boy, everyone. I don't know what's going on with the accent. I think I'm nervous. In Montreal, and I'm upset because I just brought my pile of books over and already I bent the corner of one. I am back. Please excuse the street noise. We're back in Montreal where there's constant construction, constant street noise, constant street closures. Oh joy, oh bliss to be back in my home town. Does anybody else get that feeling when they get back from traveling somewhere where they kind of wish they didn't live where they lived? So I'm just taking a free minute to film because the dog, the puppy Nola, is at the groomers. So that means that I have like a peaceful moment to film. I'm fully aware that I'm very behind in my booktube posts. So I apologize, particularly for new subscribers. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Hello. So excited to have you here. And of course, all my regular people. Hey. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my trip in England. I was so ambitious. I was like, I'm going to vlog. I'm going to talk about the books I'm reading. I'm going to read. Yeah, no, I didn't do a lot of that. For a number of reasons, mostly just because there were so many things to do and I was jet lagged. How to overcome jet lag. I would like somebody to do a video of how to overcome jet lag. I would like someone to do a video of how to overcome jet lag, people. My dad was really good at it. So I thought I would just chat through a bit of a book haul because I did bring back books in my suitcase as expected and a couple of other bookish items and show you some footage because I did take some footage from our trip. The big highlight is that we went to the Bronte Parsonage, so I can show you a little bit of footage from the Bronte Parsonage and I might snap in some photos here and there. And I'm fully aware that that I haven't done a wrap-up for May, which will, I don't know, I think I might end up doing a May-June wrap-up combined because, and I don't want to let down my team for the dessert-a-thon, read-a-thon, but I'm not sure realistically how many of the books on my TBR for June are going to end up getting read. I'm about halfway through Sorrow and Bliss. I don't have my copy in hand. Let me get it. Yeah, so these are actually the 3 books that I ended up taking with me. I took 3 books with me, y'all. That was a huge mistake. I did not need to bring 3 books to traipse around with 3 books. I brought 3 books and I brought an umbrella. Big mistake. If anyone's traveling to the UK, just a little FYI, almost, well, I say every hotel we stayed in and every Airbnb we stayed in, they provided an umbrella. So that was also not necessary. So yeah. These are the 3 books that I took with me. Okay, Sorrow and Bliss and Bitter Orange. I started both of those. Never got to My Policeman. Haven't even started it. Sorrow and Bliss, I'm at like 130 pages in. And Bitter Orange, it's even worse. I think I'm like not even 100 pages. Yeah, 48 pages. What I discovered on this trip is that I get motion sickness when I try to read on planes, trains, and in automobiles. So especially in the UK because a lot of the trains go backwards or you have seats that are going backwards and the trains are all these high-speed trains now and I didn't do nearly as much reading as I thought. Also got sick. I got a cold, so that didn't help the situation. There was like a lot of running around like trying to figure out where to keep luggage in between stays. We went from place to place. We went to 3 different cities. First we went to York, which is this older medieval town, and I went there thinking it would be really smart to go to York because I thought it was close to the Bronte Parsonage, and it's not that close. So Bronte Parsonage is a little tricky to get to. But in the end, it was a nice choice because it was a quieter, older town, and it was a lot easier to manage for our first few days. It was fantastic. It was really cool. I think William the Conqueror wrote, there was something about William the Conqueror wrote about this town in 1038. So that's like a very early recording of this town. It's supposed to be one of the oldest medieval towns in the UK. So that was really interesting, and we ended up having a really nice time there. From there, that was our launching pad to go to the Bronte Parsonage. And I even thought I would finish Jane Eyre, and I didn't even finish Jane Eyre. I'm almost finished Jane Eyre, but I didn't even finish Jane Eyre. It was fantastic. I'll just cut to a little bit of footage of the Bronte Parsonage. We toured the Bronte Museum, which is the house where the three sisters live. And I'll just insert a photo. These photos aren't fantastic because of the lighting, but I'll just put in a photo here. We stood in the salon where the three sisters, Anne, Charlotte, and Emily, the story is that they shared ideas in this room. It was a parlor where they did most of their writing and brainstormed a lot of their ideas, and it's also the room where on the sofa where Emily Bronte is said to have passed away of consumption or tuberculosis. And there's also this photo of the Bronte, the church itself, which is underneath the church, which is where all three Bronte sisters live family is buried. We also went and we walked along the moors, so I'll just add in a photo of the moors, and I'll just cut to a bit of footage of walking on the moors. We took some footage of the sheep and the farm, and then also the moors when we got up there. and it was a fantastic visit. It was a bit of an emotional experience. Spent a lot of time contemplating the sisters' lives in the museum. The museum is really well done. Highly, highly recommend. Oh, and I forgot, I got a pin. Yeah, we didn't even get that many souvenirs from the Bronte Parsonage. I don't know why. I think the souvenirs that they had didn't appeal to us, but I did get myself a little Team Emily super simple pin to wear on my jean jacket. I'm still Team Emily. I'm almost finished Jane Eyre, and I have much to say. It will be for another video, but I have much to say because I'm sorry, Jane Eyre lovers, but Wuthering Heights is the superior book, and we can get into it because I just don't. I'm sorry, I don't. Yeah, we had a fantastic time at the Bronte Parsonage, and we did look at some of the bookstores. We kept running out of time, of course, for doing all of the things that we wanted to do, but we did stop into an independent bookstore in the little village Haworth? I'm not going to say it correctly. They have a lot of signed copies in bookstores in the UK. It's a thing. Signed copies is becoming a thing. I don't know how people feel about signed copies. I'm a bit indifferent, but this salesperson convinced me to pick up this book, which I hadn't heard of before, called Cecily. It's a signed copy, y'all. There was a lot of promotion of this. There's a Cecily bookmark, and actually it's like a sticker. She signed the stickers. She must have been able to do it at a distance, and then they put the stickers in the book. But regardless, I hadn't heard about this book before, so the person in the bookstore was really pushed it, and I just fell for it, you know what I mean? So hopefully it's really good. I'll be able to report back when I get to it, but it's about Cecily, who was the wife of the Duke of York, set in 1431, and it says on the back, 1431 is a dangerous time for a woman to be defiant. So I guess it's about her courage and her cunning to save her family, and it's her story about the battle for the crown. I don't know very much about the Duke of York. I know he's been a character in different movies, and I haven't. It's been so long since I read the Hilary Mantel books that I just don't recall. But it was interesting being in York and being near York, and then being pitched this. Sorry for the noise. Then being pitched this book, and look how it matches I didn't even notice it matches my name. So that was the first book that I picked up, and it wasn't even on my list of books to find when I was in the UK. So then you can see where this is going. Like, it was trouble. I was like, oh God, how am I going to carry everything home in my suitcase? Kind of as a follow-up, The Wide Sargasso Sea, which I've been meaning to pick up because I had already heard about it while I was reading Jane Eyre. It's the story of, for those of you who haven't read Jane Eyre, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but there's a character in Jane Eyre that has their own backstory that was written by, there's a character in Jane Eyre that inspired this it's a short novel. It inspired the author to write a story, like her backstory. So that's what this is. And I've heard it's really good, so I might really enjoy this or even prefer it to Jane Eyre. Who knows? So that was the next book that we picked up. And we saw a lot of these editions. These are the Penguin Modern Classics with the turquoise. And yeah, these editions are really nice. The covers are really nice. And for some reason, they just seem to have a little bit better quality than some of the even fancier editions. So yeah, we were kind of enjoying looking at those editions. There is literally construction. I apologize. There is nothing I can do about it. I live in Montreal. I have to stop apologizing for it, clearly, because I can't just film when there's no construction, because then there's no light. So we went and we saw a lot of my father's family, my family on my father's side. It was quite emotional because my uncle died of COVID 2 years ago, and actually the day that we got together with all of the family was an anniversary to the 2 years to the day that my Uncle Jim died of COVID, and then also my dad died, so it was a bit emotional. But as a counterbalance, my cousin and I and my daughter, we all went out book shopping. We went to Waterstones, and I recommended to her Claire Fuller's book Unsettled Ground, which I adored. And it was so fun because she hadn't heard of it, and she's just emailed me saying she read it and loved it. So that was really fun. She gave her opinion on a few books that I was interested in and suggested a couple of books to me that I'd never heard of before. So the first one that she suggested to me is this one, Suite Française by Irène Nemirovsky. It's set in 1941. So this is a story set during the year that France fell to the Nazis, written in two parts. The first is the depiction of a group of Parisians as they flee the Nazi invasion, and the second follows the inhabitants of a small rural community under occupation. And she just really highly recommended it, and I'd never heard of it, and I just felt that, you know, it was probably a good idea to pick up the ones that she was recommending to me just in case I wasn't able to get them as easily here. So that's the first one that she recommended, which I'm really looking forward to reading. And then the second one that she recommended, which is much more British, is called, which I've not heard of before, is Golden Hill by Frances Sufford. It says, the best 18th century novel since the 18th century. That's a pretty good quote. This sounds really good too. 1746, New York, a small town on the tip of Manhattan Island. One rainy evening, a charming and handsome young stranger fresh off the boat from England pitches up to a counting house in Golden Hill Street with a suspicious yet compelling proposition. I'm just getting it because my cousin highly recommended it, and I think we might have the similar taste in books, or the same taste in books. And then one that I'd wanted to read for a while, which was in the bookstore. We went to Waterstones. We kind of went crazy because there's so much selection to choose from relative to here in Montreal. And this book I've been trying to find for a while, Small Pleasures by Claire Chambers. And I just hadn't been able to pick it up or find it here in Canada. I think it was available at one point, but then they just stopped stocking it. So it's 1957, the suburbs of southeast London. Jean Swiney. I really hope that this construction noise is not too loud. Maybe I should close the door. No, I'm not going to close the door. Oh, this is so interesting. When a young woman, Gretchen Tilbury, contacts the paper to claim that her daughter is the result of a virgin birth, it is down to Jean to discover whether she is a miracle or a fraud. Oh, I knew I wanted to read this. I'm so excited because she said she read it and really liked it and recommended it. So again, I think getting personal recommendations from people that you know is sort of special, because I think, you know, every time I look at those books, I'll think of her. So that's nice. I also think that giving books as a gift is also really special. And then something really fun happened in the Waterstones. I really wanted to get a penguin mug, but I didn't see them anywhere. So I spoke to the manager. I just briefly said, like, hey, do you have any of those penguin mugs? And she said, actually, they've been discontinued. So I was like, bummer. She's like, but I have a couple in the back. And she pulled out the ones from the back, and we had like 4 to choose from. One of them was Jane Eyre, and I didn't get Jane Eyre. I actually got this one, A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf, which I haven't read. But of the selections, that was the one that, first of all, it was the only purple one, and I thought that that was really cool. And yeah, I really like Virginia Woolf. I read 2 of her books, and I'm intending to read more of her work, so that was the obvious choice for me. And my daughter got Great Expectations, which was a family read along with my dad when she was little. They would read a chapter after school every day until it was finished, so it has a special place. In her heart. I also think it's one of the best Dickens. But anyway. What else? I mean, I did pick up some where, looking back on it, I thought, why did I buy that in England? I could probably buy that here. So, not sure. But I just picked up ones that were thin, not too heavy, thin, and that I thought made sense for me to get while I was there, because they're British authors. So I picked up O. William by Elizabeth Strout. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this and about this writer. So I think this is about a family secret. A couple who is going to discover something about their family. I've heard it's really, really, really good. So yay to that. Very excited about that. I also picked up, so I have a Sarah Moss book that I haven't read. I'm trying to remember where I talked about it, in a book haul of some sort. Oh, I think it was when I did the book haul from the book depository. But everyone said Ghost Well is her best one. So because it's so thin, I just went ahead and picked it up. It's like, I'm just going to pick it up because, again, it's hard to find these books in Canada on the shelves here in Montreal. You can order them easily enough, but they're not so easy to find on the shelves. So I'd heard from various different booktubers that this was their one that like really made them interested in her work, so, or their favorite one, so I'm excited to read this one. It's a coming-of-age story. 17-year-old Sylvie is on a camp in rural Northumberland with her father and a group of scholars. Oh, right, and they come across this archaeological, I don't know, doesn't say too much on the back, which is always what I like, and I'm interested to see what that's all about. I think I'm gonna have to go on a ban. Like, I really do have a lot. And then I kind of just, I don't know what it was, but we were in this bookstore in New York, the same place where I got Oh William. Tried to shop in independent bookstores despite having been to Waterstones. We did try to shop in independent bookstores, and one of the books that I picked up was Hood Feminism, which I've heard so much about, but I haven't seen it in the bookstores here, and I've always just really wanted to read it because of its reputation. So when I saw it displayed, I just decided, yeah, I'm going to get that, and that'll be my one nonfiction book that I pick up while I'm in the UK. So very pleased to have come across it. But yeah, as you can see, like I definitely had to have like one half of my suitcase had to be for books, and it had to be one half of my carry-on because the carry-on weight doesn't matter. Okay, I only got 3 other books, so we ended up going to an independent bookstore when we got to London, and I got myself a carrier bag. We ended up staying in the Hampstead in London, which is an area of London that my dad took a year sabbatical. He was a theater professor and he took a year sabbatical, and we stayed in Hampstead, or we lived in Hampstead for a year, and I went to school there when I was little. So I went back to Hampstead, and in Hampstead there are actually 2 locations of this bookstore. It's called, and I picked up a carrier bag from them, it's called Daunt Books. I don't know, for the UK people watching, you will know Daunt Books. They have a really gorgeous store in central London, which we just didn't have time to go and see. We really just ran out of time for everything that we wanted to see. So we ended up going to Oxford, which was fantastic, but like I didn't have time to look at any of the bookstores in Oxford. I'll show you some of the photos here from Oxford, because we visited the library at Oxford, and we got a little tour of the library, and we were able to go up on the roof, which not everybody is able to do. So that was pretty cool. But we just ran out of time. We didn't have enough time to go book shopping in Oxford. Next time, I have a lot of things on my list for next time. For the last 3 books that I got, 2 of them were just because they were so pretty. And actually this one as well because it's pretty, and also because you cannot get any Daphne du Maurier's here in, you can get Rebecca and you can get My Cousin Rachel here, and yes, you can order them online, but I mean, they had such a selection of Daphne du Maurier books on every shelf in every bookstore in the UK, and that's what we knew would happen. So I picked up My Cousin Rachel, and they had the movie version cover of My Cousin Rachel here in the Indigo here, and I just wasn't down. I was like, I'm gonna wait until I go to the UK, I'm gonna pick it up there. And so here it is. And it matches these versions with the Virago Martin Classic version of My Cousin Rachel, and it matches I have this copy of Rebecca. So yeah, I mean, I debated getting more of these, but my suitcase was getting pretty heavy. So I will get another Daphne du Maurier the next time I go to the UK. I'll get one every year. And then this beautiful copy, this is also Virago. I guess that's it. They make the nicest copies or something. Anyway, they make these very beautiful copies. And this is Heartburn by Nora Ephron. I love Nora Ephron, and I don't even know if you can get this here. I haven't ever looked, but it was on a display and I just kind of fell for the cover, and also just the fact that it's Nora Ephron. Some of you will know the movie by the same name. It's a bittersweet, sobbingly funny, all true confessional novel about a marriage, about a relationship. And then finally, I did get this very lovely V&A. We didn't go to the V&A in the end because we ran out of time, but I did get this V&A bookmark, which I haven't even cracked open yet because it's so pretty. We went to Liberty's, but everything in Liberty's was kind of overpriced and not as nice as it used to be. You used to be able to get eyeglass cases The soft ones, I have a couple of them from my parents. They don't even make them anymore. And then the last book that I picked up, so as to not make this video too long, this beautiful copy of Nancy Mitford. They had a lot of Nancy Mitford, actually, way more than we have here. We had a lot of Nancy Mitford in this publication, in this version. I know they do a lot of Virginia Woolf as well. Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but they're these special Penguin editions, and they're just so pretty. So it took a lot of self-discipline not to buy her other works. But this is what I remember as being the most popular one, and I've never read it. I have a really old version of it that is the kind of version where if you tried to read it, the pages might fall out, so you don't want to necessarily. But yeah, I think it's going to be really fun to read this and maybe collect some of the other ones. These are the other ones that they have on the back. Aren't they pretty, those covers? Anyhow, yeah, I could have bought a lot more books, let's just say. I really could have bought a lot more books, but I had some self-restraint. Just a teensy little bit of self-restraint. And I am in a bit of a reading slump. My brain is just so overstimulated and I'm so tired. And there's so much to deal with when you get back from a trip that I just haven't had time to get into reading again, although Sorrow and Bliss is definitely keeping me engaged. So I'm sure it's just a matter of time before I get back into reading. I'm not sure if I'll meet my goals for June, but I think that's to be expected. So yeah. It's nice to be back on the booktube, and yeah, I guess the next video I'm going to film will probably be the mid-year freakout tag. And then probably a wrap up of the 2 months once I get there. So that's it. That's all for today. I missed the UK already. I was asleep in my bed and I woke up and I said, I want to live here. Anyhow, thanks for watching this video. If you've read any of the books that I picked up while I was in the UK, please make a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought. I'd be curious. Which one do you think I should read first? Which should I read first? No! Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! My daughter's so mad at me because she loves Montreal, and she's like, Mom, this is where we live. Why are you... Okay, sorry. We're here. Okay, sorry, there's like some tourists looking up on my balcony. All I want to do is sleep. Like right now I'm ready for a cocktail because to me it's 5 p.m. But it's actually only noon. So yeah, where's my cocktail? I mean, I'm going to be asleep in 2 hours. Well, you know, lots of positive reinforcement, or positive reviews, positive reinforcements, but boo, liberties, boo.